Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to our SmileFy presentation. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. We will record this session, and everyone who registered will get the recording, and so you can rewatch everything what we present today. And my name is Ralph Georg. I'm the founder and creator of SmileFy. Today, I want to show you the big picture of SmileFy and the advantages that you can get using SmileFy as a platform. We do have several very important messages that we want to share with you regarding SmileFy. SmileFy is a platform that gives you actually the opportunity to own your own cases, to control your own cases, and to design based on the expertise and experience of 40 years of aesthetic studies. So we integrated in SmileFy everything what is important for aesthetics, and it's easy and it's fast to create the smile designs, and that's actually my vision, to create a platform so that you can focus more on the patient instead of the technology. And for that, we constantly improve and we constantly develop technologies that can automate and bring more speed in your process. I want you to own your cases. I want you to be able to change and adjust the cases every time you need. I want you to save, of course, time and resources when it comes to mock-ups, because the most interesting thing is to be able to create a mock-up in 5, 6, 7 minutes and to offer your patient the motivational mock-up in the first appointment. Based on this mock-up, a motivational mock-up, you can go and design the ideal pre-op and post-op design, and of course, much more. SmileFy 4.0 is going to be released on New Year's Eve, and I think we finally developed a workflow with AI for 3D smile design, which is unique, and it will allow you to create a 3D smile design in 2 minutes. Correct, adjust, print. You know, that's gonna be something that is very unique and very special, and I'm gonna show you how everything works. But SmileFy is a very easy to use platform. It requires a little bit of training. It requires a little bit of cases, studies, and so on. When you have studied dentistry for many years, right? Now, the step into digital dentistry with the workflow that we have prepared for you will change the way you manage cases, you design cases, you communicate with your patient and with your lab. And that's actually the most important thing. Our time should be optimized, because time, it's the most valuable asset that we have. And when we spend our time with, let's say, wisely, right, with platforms that helps us saving resources, time, then that's the best solution possible. Okay, so when you open SmileFy, you see the map, and that's the real-time smile designs in the world, so we know which countries have the most activity. US, Germany is second, Spain, then we have we have Indonesia, very strong today, then New Zealand, and even Australia. We have China, we have South Africa, Namibia, Nigeria, and South America. So everywhere where you see colors right now, smile designs happen in real time. Good. I'm going to show you first the mock-up design, and afterwards, I'm going to show you how we will change the mock-up design with AI and how everything is going to work differently when we release our new version. So first of all, we have the picture and the intraoral scan. let's discuss the picture. The picture needs to be frontal, big smile, open mouth. The face is as frontal as possible. Very important, because we analyze the position of the lip, we analyze the horizon, we analyze the midline. So this picture has to be as good as possible, full head in the frame, right? No, we need the facial thirds, we need the ears visible, we need the full face in the face. So don't try to crop, or don't try to, you know, create something like this. Sometimes we get pictures that are cropped. That's not good for the automation and for the AI and for everything what we do with the SmileFy. Then we need the intraoral scan, of course. If you have an intraoral scan, scan the palatal area, because the palatal area is important for the whole process. Make sure that your scan is clean, it's closed, we don't have any gaps or holes in the scan, we don't have soft tissue, everything is ready to go. If you can clean your scan, of course, with the software of your scanner, then it's perfect, because you have a scan that is optimized and can be used for our smile design. When we start the case or the calibration, you get three options: open shell, closed, and keep original. That's a closed mesh. That's a printable mesh. That's also a closed mesh. It's printable because the mesh has a thick wall. And this scan is an open shell scan, means it's exactly the way you scan and you get it from the scanner, but this one cannot be printed. So now you have the option to select the kind of scan that you have. In this case, it's an open shell. And then we do analyze the scan, correct the errors, close the mesh, make it printable, optimize the size, right? And then we make sure that the scan has no errors and it's optimized for our planning. Afterwards, everything is easy because you don't care about the scan anymore. You can just send it to print and it's going to be printed, right? So it's very, very convenient to use this first step of the analysis. In my case, I'm not, because it takes like 1 minute, 1 minute and a half, depending on your internet connection. We send everything to the cloud, and there in the cloud we do the correction. Good. The advantage is that if we use the cloud, right, for this correction, you can even edit your scans with the iPhone. So it doesn't depend on the newest model of your iPad, iPhone, or Mac computer. It's just done in the cloud, heavy calculation, it comes back, it's ready to go. Good. In the first step, we calibrate the picture with the intraoral scan. And like this. I set 3 points on the edges, on the incisal edges, and I set 3 points, the same points on the intraoral scan, like this. And we calibrate. If the calibration is not precise enough, I do have the controls, and I can recalibrate here my scan. Now, at this stage, you need to know that sometimes, like in this case, your picture, for example, can have a distortion. It depends on the lens, it depends on the way you took the picture, the zoom, and so on. If your picture has a distortion, the scan is not going to match perfectly the picture. In this case, we do have also a different problem. The picture was taken after the canine was a little bit modified, these composite veneers. So that's why the canine is a little bit smaller here than in the picture. The optimal way is take the picture and the scan at the same time and use both for a case, right? That's the calibration. When the picture has a distortion, you will see that the molars and the premolars go a little bit out. It doesn't matter because the 3D smile design is done over the scan and not the picture. The picture is just the analysis canine to canine, where we design the smile, and then we will have the accurate 3D design done over the scan anyway. So then I save this calibration, and now SmileFy creates a structure for every single case to manage the files. It's very, very easy because you don't have to do anything. You have patient files, one scan, one picture. You have the files calibration. It's a calibration project. And you have the digital patient. You can take pictures with the app on the iPhone version and the iPad version, of course. You can use the AI option in the iPhone that we have integrated in the SmileFy app to analyze the position of the face, and always take the app takes the picture automatically when the face is frontal. So then you have a good starting picture, full smile picture. Based on this digital patient, we create now our 3D smile design. At this point, I want to explain and to tell you something very, very important. 2D smile designs are motivational. You open the discussion for an aesthetic treatment, you show the patient the advantage of an aesthetic treatment, and that's it. 2D smile design have no value whatsoever for the clinical planning. So because we do have a lot of questions like, can I use my 2D smile design and transform into a 3D? No, 2D smile designs cannot be transformed into a 3D design, and the 2D design has only one purpose: to show the patient the advantage of an aesthetic treatment, and that's it. So 3D smile design, we have the perfect occlusal view, the perfect profile and frontal view, and we use these arrows to create the occlusal curve, the new occlusal curve for the design. If your patient doesn't have a symmetric arch, you turn off the symmetry, and then moving the targets here, you can recreate the occlusal curve. It's very important to set this occlusal curve as accurate as possible, because then the smile design is going to be very, very precise. Good. So in the next step, we do have the 3D smile frame, which will determine the automatic calculation of your teeth and the design, of course. So I create the correct height for my design. I create the occlusal curve or the occlusal angulation, which is also fine. Let me bring it more like this. I think I'm happy with the 3D smile frame, and we go to the next step where I select what I want to design. In this case, the social smile. I set the real width of my teeth like this. So the green lines show me actually the real width of the canine, lateral, and central. And now I generate the smile, and here we go. I have the smile generated, and we go to the next step, which is the 3D smile design, facially driven. In this stage, what we do is we have 4 views. Very important to understand how 3D works. We have 4 views: facially driven, smile design. So we want to see the face. We want to see this angulation of the smile, and we want to see the occlusal curve. So you can import the intraoral scan just in the patient documentation. You have the direct connection between Medit and SmileFy, 3Shape and SmileFy. More scanners are going to be now integrated. Otherwise, you can just import your STL in the patient documentation. Good. So let me continue here with the smile design. So in the first step, I'm going to make sure that the lip here is accurately marked. like this. Here are the points of, I just mark the mouth so that my smile design is going to be inside the mouth like this. Okay. Now, facially driven smile design, you see what I did. I think the smile frame was not set properly. My smile is a little bit canted. So I go to the my option, advanced options here. I group all the teeth, and now I correct. That was the wrong option. I need to select the smile frame, go back, select, and now you see I can correct my occlusal plane and make sure it's in the right position like this, more or less. Or I can use the arrows. Okay, good. That's a good start for my smile design. So to make it simple, I'm gonna select the mockup and shells workflow, right? And now I know exactly what to do to get the design done. So first of all, templates. Templates, we do have different templates. We have different characteristics. We have a round buccal surface. We have flat templates with flat buccal surfaces. We have triangular shapes. We have open, closed embrasures. We have different templates. You need, of course, to analyze the patient's situation. Does it have, the patient is, the buccal surface is round, it's flat. What templates can you use? If you select, or if you find the templates that are fine, then you can go to the next step, the tools, and with the tools, you can now finalize and do adjustments on your design. So we do have different options here to move the tools. So one of the newest features is this all selection. So if I click, I do have all the controls in one tool. I have the rotation, I have the size, and I have the position. So now what I can do is I use this tool and I have 4 views. I see the distal mesial lines. I make sure that the teeth position and everything is correct and looks good, like this. Let me see. Okay. And that's the way I design or I finalize my smile. The smile is a little bit too dominant, I think, so I'm going to increase the lateral. That's much better. I click on the canine. I like the size, so I just reflect the size on the other side. I make sure that the size of my design and my teeth is the same. And now, just very easy and very quick, I adjust the position of the lateral and canine. Here we go. Here the angulation is a little bit, needs to be corrected, but that's pretty it. It requires a little bit of training, but now you do have the design. You see, you do have the design done, and we are at the stage where we now analyze the design and bring the design to a next level of harmony and everything else. I told you about all these research papers and everything what I integrated that we integrated in SmileFy. Smile analysis. Okay, now smile analysis for me, it's very, very interesting, and it's we do have this smile. If we have a trained eye, we see small things that we can correct, but we don't want, you know, to just rely on our own eyes. We want to have something that is automated and gives us the option to quality check our design. Number one, smile proportions. Smile proportions, we have the red proportion. So central, lateral canines, you see red proportion. We followed the red proportion, and the design is exactly following the red proportion, which is accurate, and we can use now these red proportions to continue with our adjustments. If you have, for example, this option and you see that the centrals and the laterals and the canines, they don't fit exactly in the red proportions, you have some room to create and to play with the width of your design so that you follow the red proportion. This red proportion guides you to avoid the fact or to avoid the mistake to create, for example, centrals and laterals that look in the frontal view almost the same width, right? That's very important to have this harmony of the red proportion. Good. You can also have the golden proportion here, the golden proportion, but not every single patient can be designed after the golden proportion. Red proportion, golden proportions are just a way to quality check the harmony of the face and to try to follow these rules. It's not going to work for every patient. You need to make some compromises when it comes to the position and to the rotation and to the width, but that's a way to have a reference. Okay, good. Then the next very interesting analysis is the ideal design. So now I designed, but look at the angulations. The axial angulations of my canines, 1.6, 4.1. Laterals 0.5, 0.4, not so bad. Nevertheless, I can click on my lateral and bring the angulation to the same position. You see? Or maybe this one makes more sense. Now I have the canines, they have the same axial angulations, the laterals and the centrals are good. Nevertheless, because it's a facially driven smile design, don't forget to always check the design with the face. Because sometimes we do have the option to design actually the smile facially driven, but then on the model, the smile eventually is going to look canted. But in the face, according to the lower lip curve and all its details, the facial harmony that we create, it's going to be in the face beautifully and the way we want, right? Good. That's the smile analysis. We do have the zenith analysis also. So click on the highest point of your canine lateral centrals. Zenith analysis, 15.0, 16.7. You do have the distance between the zenith of the central and the canine and the lateral. You can check the distances, you can check the angulations. And then if your patient, for example, has a gum recession and you designed your canine up here, close, way higher than the other one, you will have 15 and you will have eventually 19. So you can show to the patient this huge difference, and then you can bring into the discussion the surgery, the gum correction first, and then the planning for veneers. We also have the ratio, very important. The ratio in the frontal view should be the same for both centrals. So if you have, for example, let me see, like, so that's the ratio. And we can measure and see how long our design is compared to the patient incisal edges, 1.12 millimeters, 1.6. So we can do the measurements and find all the details that we want to have a good idea over the mock-up design, and of course over the design facially driven. Good. Let's say smile analysis. I'm happy. No, I'm not happy. Let me do something. Here we do have the referent lines. So I check if my centrals are on the same height, and they are not. Okay. So that's beautiful to see that I can correct. Bring the cannon a little bit more down, and the lateral also. That's okay. Good. Smile analysis done. Now my smile looks better. My smile looks more in harmony. The exhale angulations are better, and so on. We go to the mesh editor. The mesh editor is a very, very powerful way to finalize our design. And we do have different brushes. So these brushes are very, very powerful. You can destroy a lot, but you can create beautiful, accurate designs. And the first thing that we do is we have to adjust the gingival margins, right? Our templates are solid objects. Solid objects don't match with the patient gingival margins. For that reason, we can deform, you see, we can move the whole area of our gingival margin and very, very precisely adjust, not destroying the morphology of the shape of the template. That's the most important thing. Not to destroy the morphology. Let's inflate a bit like this, and here we go. For a mock-up, we need to delete actually, or to flatten in the palatal area and to clean the material so that the patient has the feeling of veneers, the feeling of, you know, only on the buccal surface. So I delete, and with the deform tool, I can still work a little bit here on my interproximal contacts. I think that's pretty good. This should be okay. So now let's go to liquify. Liquify should be the last step for your mock-up. We check the maxilla. Liquify is also a tool. Based on this tool, we're gonna do a lot of new features and very, very powerful feature. The first feature that we have is the transformation using this very special feature. So I have the centrals, right? And everything what I do with the centrals, I want them to be the same, to have the same form. For that reason, if I select the multi-selection and I change, look how I can change the embrasures of both centrals. So whatever I do, they look the same. That's the most important aspect of this feature, right? You can also correct the palatal area, the palatal margins, a lot of very, very powerful features in this liquefy and this deformation feature. Good. Then what we should also check is the interproximal spaces. Let's see if our design is precise enough. So I click on AI interproximal correction, and now the app is analyzing every single contact point, and it's going to show us the contact points that have to be corrected. And then with one click, we just correct the points. You see, okay, we have here, we have between the centrals and a little bit between the canine and the lateral. Now look what happens when I click correct. It's corrected. Interproximal spaces are clean. I apply to design. And here we go with all the explanations. My mockup is done. What I can do to display the smile in a very, very unique way, I can go and turn on the 3D rendering, the lights, and now look how my smile looks like. Like a real the ceramic. So I can now make the corrections in the face, and that's my smile. I can also change the color of my intraoral scan, maybe a little bit more like gingiva, like this, and a very, very unique way to display the smile. Get presets. I click on mockup. Now the app is generating the mockup automatically. You see, it was very quick. Here we go. That's the mockup model that we have created. And you see, it's one model. And this model can be now exported and printed. It's an open shell model, right? It's an open shell model, so you can go to digital edits and say close mesh. You select the mockup, and now we can close the mesh. The mesh can be exported. Now, based on everything what I showed you, let me show you now what we have prepared for our version 4, because I think that's going to change a lot of everything what we do with Smile Designs. And it's good to know the principles, it's good to know the workflows, and it's good to know why, because let me check, because everything is going to be automated, and being automated is going to be very, very quick. Where is my case? Okay. Case 1. Good. So now I'm going to share with you my screen. Make sure that you have a good internet connection, because the good internet connection is actually key, you know, for everything what we do right now. And next, And now look how the 3D smile design is gonna work with the new version 4. So I recorded for you before our webinar so that we don't wait, you know, for the cloud and everything to calculate. You click on the AI mockup, we get the teeth segmented. We calculate now automatically the occlusal curve. You see, I don't do anything. Occlusal curve automatically calculated by the app. You click on next, and SmileFy calculates now the smile design. You see, done. The smile design is done. You have like an ideal design, which can be subtractive or additive, you know, depending on the situation of your patient. And from here, you can start, you know, you can start from here optimizing your smile design, small corrections, like, for example, let me show you, like selecting the right templates. Selecting the right templates is a whole, you know, process of analyzing the face, but you select the templates, you click on the templates, and you see the smile is calculated automatically after the 3D smile design was done and calculated. And now you can analyze with the face the different shapes, the different forms of closed embrasures, open embrasures, and so on. And you can see and analyze how everything looks in the face. And of course, you can discuss with your patient the form of the teeth and so on. And you have a very, very good start in a couple of seconds and a couple of minutes to have a 3D smile design, to print, and to focus more on the patient communication and everything else. Also, something that is also available in the 4 version, it is the crown. So the temporary crown, you can create also a design. You see a temporary crown, and with our version also liquefy. Let me go a little bit more here. With liquefy, we see that the function is not properly done because it's a new template, it's a new form, the bite is different. Now we analyze. You see, we analyze, we scan your crown with the antagonist, and we display first where the problems are, where the issues are, and with one click we correct then the function. You see, now we see how the new crown is in the bite, and click correct, and everything is corrected. Now, this option is very, very unique. Why? Because instead of cutting everything what is overlapping or crashing, we reform the tooth so that actually your design or the molar, it's gonna have exactly the same beautiful morphology, and it's not gonna be cut. It's gonna be reformed. The volumes are gonna be readjusted, and you are gonna get a really aesthetic crown. Of course, the more than that, and I'm gonna show you some slides. Version 4 has the automatic intraoral scan, the CBCT calibration and segmentation, and in your smile design, even if in your mock-up design, I want you to have the automatic view on the roots, even if you design a mock-up. Because if you design a mock-up and you have this view of the roots with the design, as a reference, you can immediately show to your patient the situation and explain, to achieve a good smile design, we need to discuss your ortho treatment, because as you can see, the axial angulations of the teeth, they don't match with, or they're not ideal. And to create these crowns and these veneers, we do need to correct first the axial angulation of your teeth. So ortho would be an option to generate a treatment plan that is really multidisciplinary, and then the quality of your thoughts and your visualization and decision making is going to be a completely different level, because you don't do anything. You put the intraoral scan and the CBCT file in SmileFy, you get back intraoral scan CBCT calibrated and segmented with roots, and then you see every single detail, every single issue of your patient, and based on that, you make your decisions for the treatment plan.